Hi, I'm Tamsin and welcome to this week's video bonus for the English Sound Building podcast. So this week we're revisiting another of the tongue twisters we've looked at already, thinking about it in a bit more detail, reviewing the sounds that we've looked at and practicing a few techniques with it. So the tongue twister we'll be revisiting today, it's another one I posted on my Instagram Reels on a Friday, and it is a proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. Now this one very much focuses on vowel sounds among the sounds we've looked at so far. You'll have heard a lot of O sounds in there. There's also quite a few schwa sounds as well. And it's a really nice one to practice the transition between the O and the in there. So we're going to start with those vowel sounds. We're not going to read all the vowel sounds, but we are going to read the O and the sounds in the order in which they appear. So I'll go through those O and sounds twice. The first time we'll go quite slowly and you can repeat after me. The second time we'll go more quickly. You can either try to keep up with me or pause the video afterwards and repeat. What I'll be doing is I'll be kind of reading the rest of the tongue twisters silently in my head at the same time. So you'll hear that they come through in the rhythm that they would in the final tongue twister, sometimes with slightly longer pauses between them. Let's go the first time. O, 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 O. And now let's try a bit more quickly. O, 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 O. And I think what was really interesting there, when I watched that video back and I saw my mouth position, I saw that I don't really change my mouth position a lot when I'm just switching between the two O and sounds. Whereas if you watch me reading the full tongue twister, you'll see that there's a much more exaggerated difference between my mouth positions in the O and You do what you need to do to get those sounds. Don't worry about your mouth doing similar things to mine or not. So now we're going to practice reading the tongue twister and the full tongue twister just once, and we're going to go from whispering it to reading it much louder. This will give us plenty of opportunities to repeat and practice it. So we'll start by whispering. Either read along with me or pause the video and repeat after me, whichever's best for you. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. Then we'll go a bit louder, more of a forced whisper. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. And then quiet speech. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. More natural speech. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. Louder speech. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. Louder again speech. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. And now quietish shout. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. And then I'll do one more. You see how loud you dare go. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. Well done, and we'll finish by reading it 3 times as quickly as we can. Either read along with me or pause the video afterwards and repeat. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. A proper cup of coffee in a copper coffee pot. Fantastic. And I can feel, as usual, my muscles after doing that, so I can feel my jaw from opening up all those O sounds in particular today. Let me know where you feel it. It's fantastic when you get in touch with me. Tell me how you're getting on, what you're enjoying, what you're finding tricky, and so on. So I'll be back next week with another one. In the meantime, don't forget to come follow me on Instagram. If you use social media, go check out what's happening on my Patreon. Remember, everything is free on there if you just scroll down on the main page. Although if you would like to support me, please do. I really appreciate it. Enjoy sound building, and I'll see you again soon.